Alhamdu wa shukru li waliyih wa salatu wa salamu ala nabiyyih. Today's topic is the importance of Salah and why Salah is so important in our religion of Islam. If you look into the Quran first, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about Salah. It is mentioned 67 times. And that's just one reason, and that is just one way we see how important Salah is. If we look into Islam in general, and we see when it came to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with Islam regarding zakah, regarding fasting, giving in charity, being good to parents, etc. This was revealed, it was sent via revelation through Jibreel alayhi salam. However, with Salah, the Prophet ﷺ was actually called up to the heavens, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly gave him the command of Salah. We look at the hadith of Sahih al-Bukhari, where it covers the topic of Mi'raj, where the Prophet ﷺ made a night journey from Makkah al-Mukarramah to Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, Palestine. And he went up to the heavens, and he was given the command of Salah by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he was given 50 salawat initially. Then he came down, Musa alayhi salam said to him 50 will be too much, so to reduce it, and he came to 5 salawat that we have today. So this was the importance of Salah, that the Prophet ﷺ was called by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and told directly. And this has not just been the command with the Prophet ﷺ or what happened with us Muslims and with the followers of the Prophet ﷺ. If you look prior to the Prophet ﷺ, we see, for example, the Prophet Musa alayhi salam. When Musa alayhi salam was travelling with his family from Madian, he was returning to Misr, to Egypt, he saw fire in the distance. So he said to his family, I can see some fire in the distance. Let's go over there, and I will see maybe there will be a guide who will show us the way, or we will see somebody who will be of assistance to us. So when he came closer, Allah mentioned in Surah Taha that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to him, Nudiya ya Musa, Inni ana rabbuka fakhla'an alayk, innaka bil wadi al-muqaddas tuwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to him and said, O Musa, I am your Lord, remove your shoes, you have come to a blessed place. What was the first command that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to Musa alayhi salam? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to him, وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ لِذِكْرِ, establish Salah, pray Salah for my remembrance. So this was the first command given to Musa alayhi salam when he spoke directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at Isa alayhi salam. When Isa alayhi salam was born, and his mother Maryam radiyallahu anha brought him to the people, and the people asked her, O Maryam, what have you done? You are not married, how do you have a child? So she pointed at the child, she pointed at her baby son Isa alayhi salam, and the people said, how should we speak to him because he's a baby? When Isa alayhi salam spoke first, the first thing he said was, Inni Abdullah, I am a worshipper, I am a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Atani al-kitaba wa ja'alani nabiyya, that he has given me the book and he has made me a prophet. Wa ja'alani mubarakan aynama kuntu wa awsani bis salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered me to pray Salah. This was again the first thing that he was saying, and this was the first thing he was commanded to do by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And finally, look at Ibrahim alayhi salam, the builder of the Kaaba. When Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam made the Kaaba, they were building this Kaaba. What was the dua that he was making? What was the dua? The dua he was making, Oh Allah, make me one of those people who perform Salah all the time, who establish Salah, and وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي, and my family, my progeny, my children, my offspring, make them from those also who pray the Salah as it ought to be prayed. So this is the rule regarding Salah, and it shows how important Salah is. And if you look in the Quran again, when it comes to Salah, the Prophet ﷺ was ordered that even in battle, when the Muslims were fighting, even in battle, the Salah could not be left. And Allah mentioned the Salah, Salatul Khawf, how a person needs to pray Salah when he's in a state of fear. And Allah SWT ordered the Prophet ﷺ that you will lead the Salah. One group of the Sahaba will come and pray behind you, 1 rak'ah, and the rest will carry on guarding the Muslims. Then they will go, and the second group will come and they will pray the Salah. So this shows how important Salah is. And if you look again in the Quran, throughout, from the first juz to the final juz, from the first verse to the last verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Salah, and He gives us, and what is the purpose of Salah? The reason why it's so important first is because Allah has said it to us, but what is the purpose of Salah? So Allah mentions very clearly in Surah Al-Ankabut, Allah says, Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. Salah stops a person from evil. Salah stops a person from transgressing, going against the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If a person was to pray Salah as it ought to be prayed, if he was to pray Salah, establish Salah, which is to pray all the time and to pray in the correct manner and to pray with complete devotion and to be worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as he ought to be worshipped, then he will see that this Salah will stop him from evil. And this can be seen in the lives of many people. Many have experienced this first time, and they've experienced this on a personal basis, that they pray Salah and it stops them from committing evil. Inshallah, the next episode we will be covering, we will speak about the virtues of Salah, and at the same time we will also discuss the command and also what the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned regarding the people who do not pray Salah. Jazakumullah khair.